Yes, ma'am. No, keep your audio off for that very reason. I'll walk through that anyway.
I turned the light on.
Sorry. I'm trying to find the best option. That'd be better, I think. And it's 9:30. What? Good. Good morning, class.
Good morning.
Those of you who have activated the Zoom tab in the Blackboard course shell. I mean, if you haven't done so, please log into the Blackboard course shell. If you've opened Zoom, if you will, it should automatically mute your screen. But if not, at the very bottom left, where the microphone is here, if you just mute that option and keep it that way. So like when I'm viewing all the participants, don't see your microphones off, so please make sure they're off. And that prevents any feedback as we go through the lecture. All right. There's a chat feature also, and that's probably the primary means we use to communicate back and forth. For any additional questions, I know group from Samson Community College should be in. I'm not sure. I'll give them a chance to speak. So, any student from Samson Community College, if you're present, activate your video and microphone and speak if you may.
I think it might be working.
Oh shoot, what is going on? Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, that's Austin. See Manny.
Oh, yes, sir.
Who else?
Leo. I forgot to change the name.
Okay, that's fine. And let me I'm gonna switch my mic. All right, speak, Manny, if you'd speak.
Yeah.
Okay. It's still coming through my. Give me just a second.
That's right.
Testing. Okay. I was trying to switch microphones, so give me just a moment. So everything goes well until you start testing. So again, welcome to Calculus 3. I'm Mr. Gooden, and we're with the group from Johnston Community College, and you all say hello to Samson Community College. All right, awesome. I have a little bit of issue with the microphone. Let me make a quick clarification, because now it's pulling from my laptop and not from this snowball microphone that worked beautifully yesterday. So give me just a moment, okay? Just do a quick test. Do the apps. Alrighty. That's a lot better. And again, I'm gonna keep picking on Manny. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Good. All right, class, can you hear Manny? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna pick on Maria. Maria, can you say hello to Manny?
Hello, Manny.
Hi.
Okay, so Manny can hear you. Aiden, you say hello to Manny. Man, didn't get that, so a little bit louder.
No. Okay, yeah, I heard that a little bit.
Just a little bit, okay. So in order for the collaboration to go smoothly, you're just gonna have to really project your voices whenever there are questions. Everything we do and say will be recorded every day in our lecture, captured it on the cloud, and uploaded to Blackboard. So if anything is missed, you'll be able to capture that as well. I'd say 98% of my lessons will be captured using notebook software. I use a Wacom tablet. That's what I use daily for my instruction. It's projected on my computer, which is projected on the screen, and we'll do a screen capture of everything, okay? And as I navigate through various screens, it will capture that as well. So students at Johnson, Samson will be able to see everything that's happening live. And one of the reasons why I asked students at Johnson to access the Zoom link, you'll be able to see what's projected on my screen as well as what's on your computer screen. So as we go through various test runs, I want to just ensure that everything's run smoothly for the class. So welcome to Calculus 3. I hope you're excited as I am. This is our very first Zoom Calc 3 course at Johnson Community College. Our second Zoom course here at JCC. Our first was the one delivered from instructor in Georgia for C++, and we have a few students in here who survived that. Yay, right? But this would be very different for students at Johnson, but similar experience for students at Samson Community College. So difference is at Samson, you have headsets, microphones, so you're set and ready to go. So today we'll talk about the syllabus, get into a little bit of assignments, but first and foremost, want to make sure everyone has access to Blackboard. So not just Johnston, as well as Samson. So students at Samson Community College, have you logged into our Blackboard course shells yet?
No. No, not yet.
Good. So if you go to Johnston, bless you, www.johnstoncc.edu, and then go to Blackboard. It works really well in Firefox because of the kind of textbook that we've adopted, which is an NC State book. It works really well using Firefox in terms of how to navigate the pages of the book. So I'd recommend using Firefox if you have that on your browser, okay? Let's take a moment to log in, and at Johnson, if everyone would log in as well, if you haven't done so as yet. So I'm not getting the feedback, which is good. I suppose everything is, there are no sound issues, so I'm not getting the feedback. So I'm not going to say, I'm not going to really suggest to mute your microphone. So I want to make sure everyone can hear each other as we collaborate and work through our assignments. Okay. Once everyone is logged in, we'll give everyone a chance to introduce themselves. It's kind of relax, you know, don't be tense. So just discard any horror stories you've heard about anyone's experience in Calc 3, having me as instructor or anywhere else in the world. This is your experience. Create your own path and make it the best experience possible. Not to brag on myself, but I think this is the best math course here at JCC, in the state, and in the nation. And I mean, it's fair for me to say that. And I think you're going to have like an awesome experience, one of the best you've ever had. And I think it's one of the few of any Zoom Calc 3 courses that have been delivered. I'm ready to go. All technology is working well today, and I hope it works well every day as we meet for the semester. But as I said before we go through the syllabus, what's really important for me is access. So I want to make sure everyone has access to Blackboard. And we'll talk about the various resources in place for you to be successful in the course. Testing my tablet, works well. Good, everyone can hear me, see the screen. And in a moment, I'll share my screen.
I don't believe we have access to Blackboard. I've just tried to log in, and then I don't have an account with JCC. If I do, they may inform me they didn't give me the information.
All right. So it's Samson. Is everyone logged into Blackboard?
No, I don't think any of us can get in. We don't have the login credentials.
Yeah.
So I see your names in my Blackboard course shell. So regardless, can you see my screen now, my desktop?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So as I navigate through my screen, you'll see what's there in order for you to be successful in the course. We'll work with a distance ed contact as well as those at Samson to make sure everything runs smoothly. I know they exported the roster here. Nothing was communicated to me in terms of what the login would be for you. I was assuming did you try your Samsung login?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it did not work, right?
No.
Okay, that's no big deal. We'll have this figured out before the day is out. For now, everyone just chime in and we'll get through the course layout and syllabus. If you have access, log in, and we'll start with an introduction of the students, okay? And so I'll repeat. So one issue that students at Samson are unable to log in. So Perry works with Joel. So any suggestions in terms of?
I just sent the login information to Miriam Pope.
Okay, so Miriam Pope has the login information, so she may communicate that to you shortly. Okay. Good.
Thank you.
Check this out. Okay. All right, so we'll start with introductions. Again, my name is Lance Gooden, addressed as Mr. Gooden, you may. And I've been teaching Calc 3 for quite some time. I have a brief bio if you haven't had a chance to look at that. If you need to know more about me, please read that, but that's still not enough. We'll get to know each other really well throughout the course of this semester. But that's enough about me for now. You have the entire semester to learn more about who I am as an instructor. I'll share this much. I'm a department chair of engineering program here at JCC, curriculum math, physics, computer science, history, and economics. So we'll start with Samson. If you speak up, introduce yourselves, what program you're pursuing at your college, and your future goals.
Okay, so my name is Manny. I'm with the early college right now, and in May I'm going to graduate high school and with an associate in science from Samson Community College. And afterwards, I want to go to state to major in environmental engineering.
Okay, excellent, Manny. State environmental. Okay, next.
My name is Megan. I'm just taking Calc 3. Currently, I took Calc 2.
Sorry, you mind starting over and speak a little bit louder, or just move the
sure.
microphone?
Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, just a bit quiet.
Sorry. My name is Megan. I took Calc 1 and 2 at Fayetteville Tech, but I'm in Sampson County now, so here I am. I have a bachelor's. I'm going for either a second undergrad in engineering or a master's in engineering at NC State. I haven't decided yet. But my first bachelor's is in environmental earth science, and I've been just kind of taking classes here and there just to kind of get the prerequisites I need in order to apply.
All right, thank you, Megan. And we'll have to work on the sound projection from your end, Megan. I'm not sure if it's a microphone or where you are in proximity to the microphone. So we'll work on that throughout the semester, okay? All right, next.
Okay.
I'm Austin. Like Manny, I'm in the early college program. I'm getting my associate's degree in science. So in May, I'll be graduating from the early college and with associate's degree in science. Then I plan to go to Campbell University and major in pharmacy. Become a
Oh,
pharmacist.
okay. Awesome. Well, thank you, Austin. I graduated from Campbell with my master's. Yes. All right, so we start with Johnston group, very large group, beginning with Marie.
I'm Maria. I'm in the engineering program and hopefully graduating in May. And hopefully moving on to Navy State. Yeah.
My turn.
Excellent. And repeat your name again, please.
Abhinav.
Binav. What's your last name, Binav?
Kuturu.
Repeat that, please.
Kuturu.
Katu.
Good candy.
Thank you. And you go by Binav. Thank you. Okay.
I'm Alex. I'm currently enrolled for the Associates in Engineering, and I'm hoping to transfer to NC State for a computer science.
Repeat your name once more.
Huh? My name?
Yes.
Alex Bernard.
Alex Bernard. Okay. Understood. Good. And John, just speak a little bit louder, please. So that
I'm Brett Buckner. I'm going to be graduating my associates in engineering after this semester. I'm hoping to transfer to NC State and get a degree, a bachelor's in software engineering.
excellent.
I'm Ethan. I'm in the AE program, and I'll be hopefully graduating in the summer. And when I do, I'll be transferring to NC State for biomedical engineering.
Okay.
I'm Haley. I am in engineering program. I am graduating in May at NC State.
Excellent.
My name is Aiden. I am currently in the Associate Engineering program. I hope to graduate in May. I really hope that I will. And then transfer to NC State for chemical engineering.
I am Carlos. I'm currently in the AE program. I plan to graduate in the fall, and I plan on transferring to the state or the ECU for in civil engineering.
Okay.
My name is Ernesto. I currently am also at the early college here at ACC. I plan on getting the associate's in engineering.
Excellent.
I'm Luke. I'm in the Associate in Engineering program. I should be graduating this semester, and I hope to get my degree in nanoengineering at NC State.
I'm Spencer. I am in the associates. I'll be graduating in May, and I am hopefully going to state to get a bachelor's in mechanical engineering.
Jackie. I'm in the engineering and science program. And I also hope to transfer to NC State and major in environmental.
I'm Aaron. I'm in the engineering program. I'll be graduating in May.
All right. Excellent. Thank you, everyone. 100% attendance. That's excellent because that's critical to your success in this course. Okay. Before we dive into the syllabus and navigate what I have in place for Blackboard, just want to reiterate that the most important resource for success in my class is you. those sitting to the left, right, or in this collaborative Zoom session. Okay? Second most will be the Blackboard course shell, and third, attendance. Good. And that's just for this semester. In the past, it said attendance, but because of the way this course has been delivered, everything is captured. So if you're out a day, you can chime in or watch the recording and capture just the collaboration within hours after the course ends. Okay? But again, I'll ask you, quick pop quiz. What are the 3 most important resources for success in this course in order? Okay. 2, Blackboard.
Attendance.
All right. Let's repeat that once more.
Blackboard.
Attendance.
Excellent. So Zoom, you can all create free Zoom accounts and use some of the collaborative features to collaborate. And I'll expect collaboration between Johnston and Samson. And I'm also going to force that collaboration with group assignments. Okay. You can use Zoom or any other collaborative tools that you're familiar with. There are also Blackboard discussion board options that you could use as well in order to collaborate with each other. So that's that. I'm going to open the course syllabi. Samson Group, were you able to hear from Mariam Pope about your credentials to log in?
Checking my email right now.
Yeah, she gave them, I think.
Okay. Are you able to log in? Good. Let me know if you're able to log in. And I'm going to just download the course syllabi so it can begin. I'm going through. So you may download and open the syllabus. If not, just look at my screen as we scroll through this. So I'll go through some ins and outs. The syllabus is not something that we'll be able to cover in one day. This will go over the course of the entire week through next week. Okay, so I'll just hit in some of the most critical components of the course syllabus. Don't assume that you know what's in place, because you don't. Every semester I change things slightly based on feedback from the previous group. So I'll say this much, you're getting the best version of me. So every semester, the current group gets the best version of what I have to present. But this may be my last time teaching Calc 3, so you're fortunate, group. Good. Samson Group, any success logging in?
No, I'm sending Miss Pip an email right now.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. And while you're doing that, I'll just start talking through the syllabus. 1, again, this is Calculus 3, Math 273. It's typically the code used for Calculus 3 across the North Carolina Community College system. This is the spring 2020 semester. Welcome to 2020. Happy New Year. Should have said that from day 1, right? In terms of the first paragraph, the most important thing is that the syllabus represents a binding agreement between you and your instructor. So in the end, this is a contract. If you need to sign the last page, no, there's no signature page. You're enrolled in the course, that's your signature. Thank you for signing this contract. Have you not read it? It's a section D01, so that was changed because of the collaboration with Johnson and Samson Community College, more so an interactive course, or referred to as an ITV course or a distance course. Prerequisite is Calculus 2, assuming you've all made a D or better in Calculus 2 to be in this course. I'm not here to judge anyone's previous grade. I have no statistics, neither have I collected statistics on whether or not grading your previous calc course is an indicator of success in mine. I've already told you the 3 most important things for success in this course. That's all that matters to me. Good? Fair enough?
Yep. So
I suggest you cast those stats if you have those in the back of your minds. Good. This success starts today. The last day to drop the course without penalty is Tuesday, March 26th of this year. My office for Johnson students, I'm in Steam Building B127. Samson, feel free to come to Johnson, meet with me. My office hours, Tuesdays and Thursdays, Tuesdays from 10 to 11:20 a.m. and Fridays 8 to 9:20, or via Zoom by appointment only. So if you'd like to schedule a Zoom session, you should send me an email and we coordinate a time where we can meet, and I'll send you a Zoom link and we can collaborate with that session. My email address is located in the syllabus as well as my office number, and it said just best time to contact me Monday through Saturday, 8 to 11:30 p.m. by email. You may call as well and leave a voicemail. Voicemails come to my email as well. Course description. This is the third of the calculus sequences. And it covers primarily the topics of several variables, going from partial derivatives, multiple integration, solid analytical geometry, vector value functions, line and surface integrals. So essentially referred to as multivariate calculus. So up until this point, all the calc you've learned and done is actually a single variable calculus. Regardless, it's still calculus. This also shows the course format. We meet 3 days each week, from 9:30 to 10:53, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays until 10:54 a.m. here in the Steam building. And again, it said lectures are captured using Zoom, and we do work primarily through Blackboard as our learning management system. Okay. One critical success strategy is really, for most college universities for undergraduate courses, it talks about the minimum time. This is just based on stats in terms of what to spend on a course like this. So on average, a minimum 4.5 hours weekly, which is 1.5 hours per class meeting outside or scheduled time, working through assignments. And that's WebAssign, homework, Maple. And we'll talk about those features as well as navigating the Blackboard course shell. Not to say that's an indicator for success. It just depends on the individual and the knowledge and background you bring to the actual course and skills you develop over time. I won't go through all the learning outcomes. Ultimately they may not make sense to you, but typically what I do as we go through different key portions of the course, I'll take you back to the student learning outcomes. You're like, oh, we've covered that, and to some degree understand what we've done. So essentially, I'll just run through in general how the course unfolds. One critical part of the course is the content, that is known as your conic sections. Hopefully that sounds familiar to all of you. So the conic sections really create a two-dimensional foundation, fundamental geometry to learn 3 multivariate calculus. So we have the conic sections. I know I'm not looking at the learning outcomes, right? And so the conic sections, then we have the vectors, and the vectors create a foundation in order to study motion of particles in space, which moves on to the vector value functions. The vector value functions, in addition to the 2 or 3 dimensional vectors and conic sections, creates the geometry for, and the math, our mathematical language for learning the motion of particles in the plane or space. And then we learn the calculus that applies to that, which is the partial derivatives, right? And the partial derivatives creates another aspect to really have those particles move not only along a path, but along a surface in space. So the partial derivatives is really the first introduction to multivariate calculus, right? And then from there, we introduce the triple or double and triple integrals. The double and triple integrals essentially just a language to capture fundamental geometry that you've learned in elementary phases. So really the integration techniques that you learned in Calc 1 and 2 are great, but none of that really matters now if you do not know what the double and triple integrals represent geometrically before we begin to integrate. So you'll hardly ever learn any new integration techniques in Calculus 3. You'll learn why you integrate. Then all of that creates the foundation for the, what is it? The, now I have to look at it right. Before I talk about the theorems, it's essentially vector calculus. It doesn't say it here, but it's the vector calculus, which is that chapter, those chapters in this book are written primarily by physicists. So a background in physics will be really helpful by the time we get to that stage. And then we touch on Stokes' theorem, divergence theorem, and Green's theorem. I think divergence or Gauss's theorem and Green's theorem really change the order. So that's the course in a nutshell. Nothing to worry about, right? I say no. It'll be fine. So in terms of the textbook, the course is ran to WebAssign. The textbook is newly adopted book. We used it last semester for the first time, and this is a book that's written by NC State professors and accessed through WebAssign, and there's a PDF version. It's in a PDF form. Our course uses Maple, and I'll talk about how we can access Maple. And that's primarily in Blackboard, but the Maple portion adds a very important 21st century skill to this course. It's a computer algebra system. Well, some of you have taken SolidWorks. That's a, so while Maple is a CAS, how is SolidWorks defined? Yes, SolidWorks. What kind of technology is that? Computer-aided design, exactly, CAD, beautiful. So those of you who've had that, or some other kind of CAD, you have a 21st century skill. You've developed that CAD. The second, primarily for mathematics, is a CAS. Then you have your programming skills if you've taken some programming classes. So these are critical 21st century skills for success in your future careers, whatever that may look like. So you will get, if you may have used Maple to some degree in previous classes, it may not. I come in with that assumption, but I'll get you there quickly. So we use it extensively in this class, and it's a critical skill because there's no way that you'd be able to draw a three-dimensional surface on a whiteboard and rotate it. If you have that technology, you shouldn't be in this class. You should be a billionaire. Does that make sense? But for my exams, all you need is a scientific calculator. You may not need it. I said required, but just do note, no graphing calculators are allowed on any of my in-class exams. And for that very reason, I suggest you avoid using those on the written homework. For students at Johnson, Maple can be accessed here in the B126 lab. There's some Surface Pros in B126, in B128. B136 has a laptop card. You may never use them there, but they also do have Maple. But they're also accessible in Smith Building, G107, 109. But there's an open computer lab in the library that Maple 2019 is also accessible there as well. When I get to Blackboard Course Shell, I'll show some additional accessibility features of Maple. In addition, an option to purchase Maple for a discount code. And as well as a virtual option, which is not as reliable as I want it to be. So we'll talk about that. Here's some pictures of the scientific calculators that, or any others, but these are some recommended ones. My favorite is really this one on the left. It's just fantastic because it returns, fractions, radicals in exact form if you're not the best with radicals. But you'll find that skill meaningful. This black one on the right actually does definite integrals. I found it, I'm like, oh, it's interesting. Honestly, I don't know how helpful that's going to be for you because I'll tell you right now, your final answers on my problems, they mean nothing to me. Maple can do everything in any calculus class. It's the procedure. It must be mathematically sound and something that if I code that in Maple, it returns reliable solutions across various problems. Which means you can do a incorrect mathematical procedure that returns the right answer. That has happened, especially in calculus. It's easy to do that. But remember, if the procedure, if there's a flaw in the procedure and you change the problem or scenario, then it may not return that right answer, right? And for applied problems or what you're doing in your careers, that can cost lives. So for me, the procedure is correct, you make a simple arithmetic error, and the final answer is incorrect, I take 0 points off. No deductions. I'm looking for your mathematical procedure and how sound that is. Okay? Thoughts or questions about that? Maybe new, I don't know. So I'm not gonna nitpick. If you miss every final answer on the final exam, it's possible, I may just take a point off, say it's 99. It's hard to be perfect. No one is, right? Just to note, there are e-text courses. This is not an e-text course, even though it's an e-version of the book. I'll get into that very detail. You can read more information about what a true e-text is. So if you're not familiar with e-text courses, there's a course overview, talked about the vectors in the plane and space, curve geometry. The curve geometry is really vector by functions, partial derivatives, multiple integrals, vector calculus. Right? Maybe the last time I say this, my evaluation method. I haven't always used this Chinese proverb, but I started using it years ago before I stopped teaching Calculus 1. It says, give a man a fish and you have fed him once. Teach him how to fish and you fed him for a lifetime. How many of you have heard this before? Oh, so you're not so young after all. So this is something my dad always said to me ever since, as far as I can remember. And it never resonated to me until I became a college instructor. If you're wondering the kind of instructor I am, I'm the one who's here to teach you how to fish. That sums up what to expect in my course. Fair enough? So let's talk about some of the grading, how the course will be graded. That's really what you care about. Of course not. So we'll do WebAssign, and I won't read through word by word through word what's here. Please read it. So you expect to do WebAssign, have presentations, not for a grade. WebAssign for a grade. Worksheets, group assignments using Maple, yeah, for a grade, sometimes not. Homework, for a grade, sometimes not. Exams, heavily weighted. And Maple assignments, yes, they're weighted. So, just as a gist of how the course will be graded. WebAssign is already developed. I want to take some time to see if everyone can go to WebAssign, access that. As I said before, important to me is ensure that everyone has access to all of the resources here. So at some point, I want to give a chance to kind of click on WebAssign link. Usually, if there are any issues, you have a 17 or 15-day period to access WebAssign until it gives me time to talk with the representatives to make sure everyone has long-term access to the course and the book itself. It's strongly recommended because it touches on some fundamental practice drills. So fundamental practice drills for the course. WebAssign does not prepare you for my exams. Is that clear?
Yep. Yep.
Presentations often have pulled problems from other books, give you in-depth opportunity to tackle some core, pure math problems for those who want to pursue pure mathematics. But it's really good skill for anyone who wants to do the applied math for engineering fields as well. I mean, worksheets, group assignments, using Maple. So I want to create those sheets early to give you a chance to use Maple to crunch some problems out, to assess what you know, what you do not know in terms of how to use Maple. Oh, the homeworks. If you've heard like horror stories about the homework assignments in my class, it's okay. They're true. But I told my former students yesterday, I'm going to share this with you because it's only fair. Be careful what you complain about. Because, you know, my children will tell me, I'm the kind of dad, I even whine about things and I tell you don't do it. I'm the kind of dad that's going, you know what, fine. You're going to learn the hard way. So in the past, students have always complained about how difficult and time-consuming the written homework assignments have been for Mr. Gooden's Calc 3 class. But in the end, they realized that doing those written homeworks are important indicators for success on the exams. And it was really a lot time-consuming for me to grade them and give them back to students in time in order for students to be prepared for my exams. And the complaint never stopped, even though the data showed the success of the strategy. So I no longer grade your homework. All the homework assignments are still in the class. And, but the written solutions done by me are in Blackboard. So are you going to do the written homework assignments? If you don't, this is what the recent data shows. Those who really do them as if they're for 20% of the course grade, they make B's or A's on the related exams. Those who don't, there's a slight chance that your grade will fall below 50. So what I've realized, grade distribution now is really high grades or really low grades. So you should thank former students for leading you to this path. So be careful what you decide for future students if I can decide to continue teaching. Calc 3, that is. Good. So, but there's something exciting to consider shortly. Yes, sir.
So you said you don't grade the homework, but what is this talking about the non-Excel window and the 2 peer reviews for solution?
Very good question. So I just kind of incorporate that to encourage you to do it and allow yourselves time to give each other constructive feedback. Are you required to do it? Oh, strongly encourage it.
Is the 96-hour window still a thing?
Yes, it is. So the homework assignment will be available 48, well, essentially 2 days before the due date. The solutions are there. And it gives you that window to just, hopefully by then you've done the work. You've start sharing some ideas with each other, check each other's work based on the solution I have, look for any discrepancies because I'm not perfect. Reach out to me and before it closes out. Well, you may download it anyway. So that's a window for you to download the homework. It's PDF form. And some of them are also in Maple and check your work. But I encourage peer reviews since I'm not collecting it. As I said, the 3 most important resources was the first, which comes back here.
First was each other?
Yes, very good. So you'll learn that just about everything I do in this course is intentional and well thought. Great question.
I also have a question. So
Go ahead.
we don't have any homework assignments in WebAssign, just Maple and these written ones where we pretty much need to do them together. Well, review them after we're done together.
You do have assignments in WebAssign. If you want to call it homework, it is also homework, but that's worth 5% of your grade.
Okay.
So yes, you do have some. They're not lengthy. I mean, I try to keep it an average 10 questions per section. I mean, really, students, typically get 100 in them, 95 to 100. You have multiple attempts, it's fine. But great problem just to practice as well. But the bulk of your time, honestly, in this course should be spent in terms of working independently on these homework assignments. And the first 2 sets are out there already, so you'll see them in just a moment. And most of these, I wrote them. So if I spend that much time, so much of my time developing the course was spent writing these homework assignments. So my exams are written based on those which are aligned with my instruction. That's fair enough, right? So they're not exams or homework from a test bank. Any other questions? Let's talk about the exams. There are 5 written exams. These are all in-class exams. In the past, I've given some take-home exams, but in this case, I don't know. We'll see. Time comes, but I anticipate all being in class. So they range from 5 to 10 problems. Testing time, hour and 20 minutes. Do note exam grades will not exceed 100%. So often add bonus questions on the exams. But if the bonus questions take you over 100, you revert back to 100. Bonus questions do not carry forward to the exam. So, good. In the past, students have asked, test exams, they're the same thing. No, they're not. So I'll start here. The difference is how the questions are framed and what is assessed. If that's not enough, I explain what tests typically do and what my exams assess, the ability to apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. Where did I pull these from?
Real life.
Kinda broader than that. I assume none of you want to be teachers then, right? Oh, Bloom's taxonomy. Excellent. Good. Go through the different higher learning phases, okay? So that's how the exams are assessed. So I really don't want any surprises. And that's where I put the statement here. So what it said, the exams are difficult, or what that says. But that says, so the exams are difficult, it's highly unlikely that you will make an A on every examination. No way of overachievers because I used to be one. Maybe I still am, I don't know. I don't believe in the phrase overachievers. I'm gonna take that back, I apologize. I don't believe in it, so I shouldn't have said it anyway. Just work hard and we wanna do well. It means the same thing, but I just don't like using that at all. It has some kind of negative connotation to it. But it's highly unlikely. I said, just as you'll experience in your major courses at the senior institutions, I want you to have a similar experience here because, often we create this false sense of reality and students leave and like, oh my gosh, I went through NC State or NC Charlotte and never made higher than a 70, but then my course grade is an A. Don't let the percent weight define you. That's very subjective, okay? As now you may know, you may have it. Our instructor, it becomes even more difficult or just like, literally did nothing in the class and made an A. So, I don't know. I don't believe in A, B, C. I don't believe in that, but it's what's expected. That's what we're gonna do. Why I do expect is that from today, the course of the semester, you have learned a whole lot that is applicable to your future endeavors, okay? Whatever that comes out to be, we'll see. All right, in terms of the course grade, it's meaningful to you because that's important for transfer and where you go. So it should be, but it's not the most important thing to me. I did note that, however, statistical procedures are in place. The standardized scores are applicable. Oh boy, have I used this a lot? Maybe not, because always there's one person who really messes up the curve. And what I realized, no single student has ever made the highest on every exam. You will learn in this course, if you haven't yet, your strengths and your weaknesses. If you believe you have no weaknesses, I'll say you're wrong. Everyone has that mathematically. Don't try to prove me wrong. Maple assignments. So I won't go too much in detail Maple assignments. So we'll certainly have some Maple labs. And if you don't know what Maple is, I have a Maple expert who will chime in to our course via Zoom. He's from Germany. On Friday. I think he's from Germany. Yeah. Could be wrong. Or France, one or the other. On Friday, to talk to you about Maple And I have some exciting things I want to put in place for Maple. I'm a Maple ambassador, and I'd like to start a student ambassador program at some point to have you connect globally. I mean, global connections is important, I think, for 21st century skills. So that's something I'd like to implement here at Johnston and Samson, something consider chiming in. So we'll talk about that more on Friday. So we'll do more syllabus talk on Friday. And I think it's about 10 o'clock I have them chiming in. So we'll have that Zoom. I'm gonna test the Zoom link and have it up and running as well. Good. So I think that'll be exciting for you. So the Maple assignments there, we do a lot of skills and drill throughout the course of the semester. Usually wait just before the mid-semester or just after to assign 3 major projects that assesses your ability to utilize Maple to accomplish some tasks. You may have heard about them before. And these account for a part of the course grade. I do have a late policy, so let me go through it. So later missing grade assignments will receive a grade of 0. All assignments are expected to be completed and submitted on time in order to receive prompt feedback. This is circumstances may arise beyond your control, which may lead to missed work or late submissions. This does not change the fact that assignment is missing or late. So for this reason, missed or late assignments submitted within 24 hours of the due date and time will be eligible for feedback. Assignments are considered late if turned in after the first 10 minutes of class on the due date. Electronic copies of missed or late assignments are accepted. Each student will allow exactly 1 missed or late assignment. Fair enough? Good. Samson?
Yep.
We'll work on your facilitator in terms of your submission of your assignments, and that will be sent to me, of course. If it's not electronics, I do quite a bit of electronic submissions. I have a participation policy that I'm not going to read for you. It has a crazy formula, but it was intentional. Do read how participation points were deducted. If you want to know how that matters, I'll just read the very end where it says deduction or deductions of up to 1,000 participation points will void all bonus, extra credit, and or late assignments for the semester. So if for whatever reason your participation points are deducted up to or beyond that point, then you doing the bonus problems on the exam or any late options, it's really will not help you grade-wise. If you want to be eligible for those bonus points or any extra credit and late work, do not exceed that 1,000 points and read all those pointers for deduction. Don't anticipate that being an issue here. Before we look at grade distribution, critical, that's good enough. The attendance, you can miss up to 6 days. I mean, things happen. I mean, who really wants to miss 6 days in a calculator course? In your sense, I think missing 6 days is not a major deal because everything is captured and recording. We hear the interaction. Only thing that's missing that you won't be able to ask any questions live. So, but things do happen. You can miss days. I'm encouraging it. And there are the critical success strategies. 1023 doing good. I just want to talk about the grade distribution, go to Blackboard, because I think there's something that you're probably wondering, like, what's going on? And you may have never experienced this before. And what should it be on the grade distribution? What is new that you may have never experienced before in a class?
That we get to design our own category.
Okay. What else? Anything else?
The exams kind of. But normally, like, all exams are like just kind of part of one large percent, probably like 60, but each of the years kind of divided.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Good. All right. Fair enough. Web assignment is 5. I'll skip the second 5%. Labs, that's Maple, 10%. Exam 1, 15. Exam 2 is 15. 3 is 15. 4 is 15. And the 5th final exam, 20%. Yes, Aiden. Yes, I think I'm a mind reader. I knew someone would ask that question, right? I just knew it. And for that very reason, here's your answer. This is a problem on the final. Is everyone ready?
Yep.
The flux across a sphere S in an inverse square field is independent of the radius of S. If E is an electric field, can't see what's, it's my screen, sorry. I'm gonna move this down. Oh yes, that's better. If E is an electric field, then the result in the integral below, so this is not in Blackboard, and I'm reading it. I don't see anyone taking their phones, taking a snapshot off the screen. Anyways, so if E is an electric field, then the result, and this is a problem on your final examination, then the result in the integral below, along with Coulomb's law, yields one of the basic laws of electrostatics known as Gauss's law. This is a double integral over the surface S of E dot n ds is equal to 4 pi kq. Q is the point charge located at the center of the sphere and K is the Coulomb constant. The sphere S is defined as follows. E is defined as follows. So the divergence theorem is also known as Gauss's theorem. So this is actually the second problem. I actually gave you two. So this is just a statement of the problem. So the divergence theorem is known as Green's theorem. Use a triple integral and divergence theorem to verify this and give a hint, so on. So in response to your question, is it cumulative? These two problems, in order for this to make complete sense, will require knowledge of not just, it's about every fundamental thing we've learned from day one up until this point, but also things that you carry forward from Calc 1 to an algebra and trig. So I don't independently or intentionally pull problems from the previous exams, but the problems from the vector calculus require some fundamental knowledge from all the things that you learned throughout the course. So I really drill you for the first 4 exams to make sure that what I read just a minute or so ago will make sense. So at this point, what made sense to you based on what I read? Anything sound familiar? Anything popped out? Anything you recognize? Yes. Here you go. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then I said this chapter was written by a physicist. You can tell. Yeah. Good. And you may be able to, for those of you with a strong physics background, be able to understand what some of this actually means. But to do the problem. Anything else that stood out to you? I don't know. Yes. Beautiful. So they're integrals. Anything else?
Pi.
Flux. Yeah. What was that? Samson?
Pi. Meet that.
Pi, yeah.
Spheres.
Oh, yeah. Pi implies something circular. Hint, hint. Yes. So that because of the surface, it kind of led to pi. Beautiful. So you have some knowledge. So you've brought forward some fundamental knowledge. Beautiful, right? But this is nothing intimidating. We'll do a similar problem when we get to this point in the course. Okay. Fair enough. Let me switch screens. Good. And are my screens switching the way they should, right? According to camera?
Yeah, switching good.
All right, perfect. All right, that takes us to the Blackboard course shell. So, 10:29, we're doing great. So, as I said, everything will not be covered in one day. What I do want to know where the syllabus is located. So the announcement out, the announcements just welcome you to the course, information about your instructor. Much of your time will be spent under the weekly assignments tab. I'm going to switch to student view to see what you see. So what you should do today and onwards is go to weekly assignments, Weekly assignment, I've broken this down into chapters. So this is an improved course based on what students have recommended in the past. So don't just give me weeks and weeks, give me chapters, and within each chapters, then I have the weeks. Okay? So I take no credit for the improvements of the course, even though I should. But these are from recommendations from students, and I think they're fair. So I listen to you, right? I hope you listen to me. So the textbook is a PDF format, so I actually downloaded the PDF version of the book, and it's here. So chapter 0 is actually there, and chapter 1 is there, so you can access those 2 chapters as we work. If there are any issues, go on web assignment. I'll do the same until you can get your access to the assignments, okay? And that's really important, but I want to make sure you have access to the book if there are any issues with web assignment. Fair enough? And the sub folders for chapters, I'll put the PDF copies of the book there as well. On the weekly assignments, if you haven't gone there yet, I have chapter 0 just takes you to web assign. I'll try this test in just a moment because usually this takes long because it works for some, not for others. I've placed some practice exercises, not for a grade, but these are problems I recommend you work on from chapter 0. These are just derivatives. I apologize, not just. These are derivatives, integrals, some specific types of derivatives, integrals, whether it's product, quotient rule, chain rule, and integration by parts, substitution to practice, okay? The homework sets. Now, I had some dates that were off, and like, how did I leave that there? So the homework sets are there, and they're due next Friday, right? Yes. So any questions about the due date?
Nope.
You should ask how are they due, and you're not really collecting them, Mr. Goodman. That's just to gauge your pace. So give yourself that time, and that's like the midpoint of the 9 to 6 window. So 48 hours, which is 2 days prior to that date, the solutions will be released, and you should have additional 2 days beyond that date. So give yourself 2 days prior, which is the 15th, and 2 days after the 19th. So between the 15th and 19th, you should have completed, done some review, exchange with peers, and have it done. Not just for the exam, but to ensure that you're moving along with the pace of the course itself. Fair enough? I have Maple Boot Camp. This was a boot camp that was recorded last semester. So I think this new one may be different. So I wanted to see what was demonstrated by Karishma, a product manager last semester. And I think a new product manager will be doing slightly different form of the boot camp. So you can watch this one to see what was presented in terms of Maple and what's in place. And that will, and I'll upload the other one after Friday's class. I usually pull in the previous instructional videos. These are using maybe last semester's class or previous semesters. If they're not useful, let me know and I can just hide them, okay? Or maybe just want to watch, what's taught this current semester, but it's totally up to you. What's also present in this tab, we have NC State lecture videos. So I asked the authors, so, well, what are students seeing at State? Well, not just the book, but they're seeing these resources. So I want students at Johnson to have the same resources, so feel free to watch them. And you have the Calc 1 lectures, Calc 2 lectures, and Calc 3 lectures, and the login and password to access them. Good? You have Khan Academy that you may have used in the past. Totally up to you. So let me make sure you have this wealth of resources to be successful in the course. Thoughts or questions? I don't want to click on WebAssign yet. And we know this is where the Zoom link is available. So this link works, for all the classes that are scheduled and recorded. Once the recordings are released to me, I'll upload them here and just kind of date them as we go. Right?
And I'm sorry, I have a question. I just popped in my
Yes.
head. So the homework set, the two that I say they're due the 17th, those are like the written homework things you talked about, where we have the 96 hours where you give the solutions and we discuss them together. Say it again.
Also, repeat that.
So the homework that is due on the 17th, those are the written homework questions that we do, and you give us the 96-hour window where you give us the solutions and we're to discuss on our own.
Yes.
Okay.
One thing I want to point out, though, and I don't think I mentioned that. I think it's the end of participation. I did note this. So, yeah, I did note that out-of-class assignments will be randomly collected for participation points. So, while it's not required that you do the homework sets, it's an expectation that you do. So it's possible that I may collect 1, 2, or more for the semester. And when I do, it's important that what's mentioned in the homework expectation is actually met, and that's the fact that they must be done on engineering paper, and as well as the how it's presented and the peer reviews. So I do randomly collect out of class assignments. I'm not going to collect a whole lot of them. In addition, feel free to submit assignments to me for my feedback if you think you need it.
So will it be required for the homework?
Sorry, repeat that, please.
For the engineering paper, when we collect them, do we actually need to use it for every homework set, or how would that work?
Yeah, it's kind of a good idea too, because you never know which assignment I'll randomly collect.
So for the peer reviews, do you want peer reviews to also be on engineering paper? Would you prefer them to write in different on your actual homework, or do you want that on a separate piece of paper?
No, it doesn't matter. It could be on your work. It could be the feedback. If you don't want anyone to write on your work, you could say just indicate the problem and what you saw that should have done differently on a separate sheet of paper. Good, very good question, by the way. That's because you may not want to just, and you can share your homework via, scan pictures, PDF to with whoever you want to share it with. However you choose to do that. So that's a good question, by the way, because I don't want you to feel like you have to physically pass around your homework to someone. The reality is the feedback can be done on a separate sheet of paper, not necessarily on homework you did. Any other questions? All right, fair enough. I can talk about Maple resources. This is a Maple resource tab. Gives you videos about what's Maple, I'm not going to play it. Maple in the student world, Maple in industry, Maple users around the globe. But what I also want to show that students end up eventually purchasing a copy of Maple, not as a requirement, but these license, this is an 8-month license for $49. It's your copy. This is a perpetual license. I think it's just for a year for $74.95. Using that license, walk you through to click through the link and what to do. And I've also given a copy of a Maple discount I generated for this class to purchase Maple for a lifetime. So it's entirely up to you. So you have 3 options there. And the 4th option is a virtualization option. This is essentially what NC State uses for a lot of their software. But we had much success the first time we launched it. Feel free to try it. And this is like a guide to show you how to maximize the full screen. But in the past, students of Johnson had some issues with the lag time for it to come live. And for that very reason, we've kind of changed the way we license it and ask for these options instead. But the virtualization option is really free, and you can walk through the procedure and see if it works for you. I can quickly show you the procedure, but I won't necessarily schedule reservation. So it takes you here to NC State's virtual computing lab, but you want to click the drop and go to Johnston Community College LDAP and proceed to login. And the login is actually your Blackboard credentials. It may not work for all of you because I'm going to have to send your roster to our IT department. If you're a returning student from Calc 1, 2, 3, linear differential equation, or SolidWorks, you should have access now. And when you're here, just go to reserve. Go to reservations and new reservations, and it shows Maple 2018. I have access to 2017, 18 in SolidWorks. You can see what access you have. You can do reservations for 30 minutes to 4 hours. It's an estimated time less than 1 minute. That happened the first year we launched it. Hasn't happened since. But it's a free option, free virtual option for you if you really do not want to purchase Maple. So just something to consider. But test all of these things out and see if they work for you. You know, I would recommend. All right, 10:40, we're doing good. So critical to you right now is this discussion board post. You click on discussion board, this should be available because you should be like, what am I going to do with that 5%? So you have 5% ownership in your grade distribution this course. You will engage in a classroom discussion. Your first post must be your proposal based on your understanding of the syllabus, right? Once you've made that proposal, you will have access to what everyone else has proposed, and you can start your discussion. Don't pull me in your drama if it leads to that. All I want is by the due date, a single Word document submitted through that link. You submit more than one, I'm going to take the first. Could be more serious. I'm not even going to read your discussion board post. Doesn't matter to me. All I want is as a group, Sampson Johnson, you decide on what that should be, and you submit a proposal in that link. Because by the due date, can you see the due date on yours? Can you click on it? Yes, listen. Based on your understanding of the syllabus. So I hope as a class, you can come up with something reasonable that I will not deny. And when is the due date? What was it? It doesn't say when it closes? Oh,
It doesn't say.
Maybe when you click on it, it does, right?
No, it didn't then. I already clicked on it and it didn't.
Well, it's next. I'll type it in. So it's next Tuesday, the 14th, by 11:59 p.m. And good thing is everyone is present today, so no one missed this. If you did, it's recorded. Any questions? Yes, sir. It'll be Tuesday the 14th by 11:59. So I'll actually embed it here. So that's when the form closes. Yes, it is. Very good question. That 5% will be added to the final examination, making it 25% of your grade. You have other instructors who can tell you what your proposal is reasonable. So they know me very well. And instructors know instructors and know what we expect. So you can find a way to collaborate and figure it out, right? Have you ever experienced this before? Well, yeah. But the proposal, the grade. Okay. Well, hopefully it'll be a pleasant one for you. And I hope you're excited about it. Are you? I mean, what? No, you're not. Oh my God, was this a bad idea for me to do this? Or, oh, because otherwise it would have been 25% of your final exam. Okay, good. All right, good. Yeah. Do you think you need more time?
No, I think everything's fine. I'm just.
But you can figure it out, right? So it will take, so there are many reasons why I did this, but you figure it out. But But I'll tell you one, you really have to know the syllabus very well. Good. So if you never really take ownership in your course syllabi, this is a chance to do that because you need to know very well what's in place. You don't duplicate that. That will deny it. Yep. So have fun. Good luck.
I have one more question.
Go ahead.
Quick. So for the Samson students, when it comes to submitting any of the homework that you take up for a participation grade, do you want us to scan it and then send it to you?
No, I think your facilitator will collect it for me.
Okay.
And if it's written ones, I won't be collecting a lot of written assignments, other than your in-class exams. With a lot of electronic things, so I really want to ensure that the written work, I know you're going to do it outside of class. If you want to get work to me, encourage PDF. I mean, I can edit your PDFs and give you feedback quickly, get it back to you. Time of feedback will not be an issue for me. I'm really quick and accurate the way I grade your work, and I know the value of prompt feedback. You get prompt feedback and valuable feedback from me. Just get me the work, preferably PDF, so I don't have to convert your work to PDF before I provide the feedback. And there's also Zoom. I'll make myself available when necessary. All right, course schedule. So there's a course schedule link. I have a tentative schedule because I just feel like I have to plan backwards. So the course goes all the way through May 8th, which is when the final exam is scheduled. And essentially what I have is what's supposed to be covered each day that we meet. If anything changes due to inclement weather, and I shouldn't have said that, I'll make the adjustments because this is actually a OneDrive shared file. I'll make the adjustments which will update automatically here. So make sure you're aware of the pace of the course. So for now, in green, you know the scheduled dates of your exams. Good. Those are questions? And I'll share this much about the exams. I do not and will not do in-class exam reviews, but this tab, which is, I have to go back and update it, and I'll start working on that between now and Friday. You have released copies of previous exams and their fully worked out solutions. So in addition to the homework and engaging in the class discussions on the tab that's entitled Exam Exercises, this will give you access to the released exams and their solutions. Someone actually released the various versions of exam number 1 and the fully worked out solutions for your preparation. All right, we'll save the last 2 minutes for Q&A before we wrap things up for the day. Yes, sir. I mean, save it where?
You create a thread on the discussion board. There's like option to save it as a
Yes. What I meant is that there's a shared link. So whenever you decide the class what the proposal is, and I'm hoping you've created the proposal and share with everyone, then everyone has access to the shared link. You decide who will upload that final draft, and it uploads to the shared link. But your drafts of your work, you can update, that doesn't count because I won't look at that. Yes, because once you post, in order for anyone to see what you've uploaded, they would have to post something first. No, I'm not going to look at any of your posts. So once we end today, I won't revisit this discussion board post because this link where it says here, submit here, is in my shared folder. And by 11:59 on Tuesday, what I'm looking for beyond that is a Word document with your proposal. And then based on that, I'll actually update the grade distribution, of course. Any other thoughts or questions? Are you excited? It's gonna be fun. Just the course in general. I mean, how much you learned, it's great stuff. Don't worry about it. You look like a really sharp group and you're gonna do very well. Yes, sir.
I had a question about the bookstore access code that input asking for last week. Website. It says your instruction provided you with.
Yeah, so within the last couple minutes we have, if you click on the website link and try, I've already exported the roster. So you can go to sign in if you already have an account. Right. Why did that? It wasn't, oh, sorry, I'm a student. Oh, that's right. So as a student, because I should have done that for me as an instructor, but I'm in student view. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud, yes. I almost panicked. So I'm assuming when you go through instructions, this is what you see? Yeah. Do you have a sign-in? Those of you used WebSign before? Oh, okay, Mr. Johnson, okay, because I'm unaware. So just kind of walk through that. We have about 2 minutes to go and see what it does. Regardless, you all should have access because you have a free, you have free 16 or 17 days. And I want to be able to resolve any issues that any students have between now and then, you know. Because they already have it signed up there, yes. So those of you who have been using the previous, the Larson book, because you're supposed to last the life of the book, I need you to send me an email, right, with your username. So email me from your Johnston or Samson email accounts, okay? So I can have that information to the representative, and my goal is to get you full access from the representative. And that's if you've been using the life of the book and so on, you do. I can't guarantee, but I can try, because usually the code is supposed to last the life of the book. This is a new book. I didn't phase out the edition, so I'm going to try and see what we can do. Yes, ma'am.
Right, it usually has- but actually last.
Yeah, yes, exactly. It would not. So it depends on, and they'll be able to look at your account and tell what access you had and what they can and can't do. So if you were to know, then it's best just to get the code, and that's all you do. That's all you need. Yes, sir.
On the grade list, is there enrollment verification, please? What does that do?
That's kind of optional. That's typical for hybrid or online courses. So I mean, it was embedded in my course. I didn't hide it. I'm not going to hide it, but it's not required. So. I'm surprised it's there. Yes, sir.
So the chapter 0 topics will go.
Oh, look at the time, sorry. And maybe I should have left WebAssign until Friday, but once you go to WebAssign, are you able to see these?
Yeah.
Yes. And then I guess I'm going to talk about the access of the book. So here I go to resources and go to the book, but you will view it in another format. So our time is up. So it's no big deal. We can walk through this on Friday, the beginning of class on Friday, in terms of how to navigate WebAssign. So, because I want to work on that and how to use Zoom to share screens as well. All right, but this is our time, and the recording probably will stop as soon as I stop the video. So any last thoughts, just shoot me an email, but we'll reconvene on Friday, and you know, you can get started on whatever assignments you wish to work on. All right. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.